All right. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Thank you, Mike. Hope you guys learned a little bit about Mr. Doyle and his theater and his plays and his productions. The man does a lot. Definitely is very much appreciated. So now let's get into topic 2. Now we went into midlife crisis with the first topic, but this subject is kind of relates a little bit, but it's kind of relatable to people outside of our age. Living above your means. We know that definitely is, no matter how big of a topic people may say it is or it isn't, it definitely is an issue in today's society. So what we did was we reached out to a financial advisor. His name is Chris Reid. He's going to give you a definition or of a more professional outlook on living above your means. So we'll just take a look at that and we'll be right back.
The definition of living beyond your means simply means that you can't afford every bill when it comes due. If you can't afford your rent, your cell phone, your water bill, you need to limit your spending and cut something out.
Thank you, Mr. Reid. We're back with the crew. Now we have, after we got a definition of the living above your means, let's go into what we did a few weeks ago. We polled basically through SurveyMonkey, and we asked people a few different questions. So let's go to the survey, and mind you, the crew doesn't know about the results yet. So as everybody's going to find out basically at once. So we basically first asked male or female. We have 26% males of males basically pulled the survey, and 73% were females. Wow. We went into age groups as well. 2% were between the ages of 15 to 20, 68% were 21 to 30, 23% were 31 to 40, and 5% were 41 and up. We went into do you live paycheck to paycheck? 55% said yes. 44%, exactly, about half. 44% said no.
That's probably the honesty.
Not exactly. People were honest. Thank you to everyone that took it as well. Do you have multiple credit cards? And 20% said yes, and 80% said no.
That's actually surprising.
Isn't it?
Very.
And this is why it's more surprising. Are you in $10,000 or more in debt? 65% said yes.
So that means that
probably
that number is very
school,
similar. So
cars.
they're not out just swiping away. That's probably like salary
Assets,
Salary
yeah, cars, education.
Not me.
And you know what? I actually got a
Smart.
salary, so I want a discount. Like I really do, and I ain't salary man. I need a discount.
All right. Another question was, are you saving for your future? 73% said yes, and 26% said no.
I don't know about that because if you're living paycheck to paycheck, are you are you broke for a good purpose? That's
Maybe they're
investing in yourself.
Maybe they're living
Now,
paycheck
you
to
can
paycheck
be-
because they're saving more.
I'm not mad at that. That's because we're broke for a better purpose. Be broke for a better reason. Give up the good for great is what I say.
We should ask how much are you saving for your
Yeah,
future?
how much are you saving?
$5 or $500. Not saying people really save $500 a
we
month.
asked,
But
what's been the most expensive purchase within the last 2 years? We broke it down into fashion and apparel, housing and decor, electronics, a holiday or birthday, automotive or transportation, or entertainment. And I won't go through all of the percentages, but I'll say the highest one was 67. Well, it was 63.89. So you can say 64% said automotive and transportation, which sounds about right. So now after all of this, between $10,000 or more in debt, now the one that stuck out to me the most contrast were, do you have multiple credit cards? And so many people said no, but
they're in
we're in debt. So
But they
other
were.
than Sally Mae, what else? I mean, what do you guys think could be the cause for
your house, it's assets, your car, yeah, it could be
Inflation.
different.
I think
Things
it's
like
the
that.
biggest thing because when
Everything costs gas.
if you think about like the 1800s and everything, right? Stuff was cheaper back then, or even mid 1900s or whatever. But you can kind of plan your life out more because okay, it's going to cost roughly this much to get my groceries, roughly this much to maintain a household. Now with the economy going up and down, jobs going up and down. You really can't plan like 5 years ahead and think realistically I can do that, because in another year or two, the whole game is going to be different. You don't know.
But if you're saving regardless, you should be able to, like, saving doesn't go change with inflation. Like, you can save.
You can't go to the corner store and get the same thing with $2 as you could when we were in like middle school.
So don't go to the
still
corner
save the
store.
same amount.
Yeah, you can still save the same
I'm just saying
amount.
on the level of you can't even get the same amount with $2 you can for candy. So like way more important stuff than that.
Stop
It's
buying
gonna be-
candy. You know what I mean?
Talk
Country's
about
I'm
obese.
talking about the healthy snacks. Right? I'm just saying, just hypothetically, if candy and little stuff like that costs more, and you think like when you were 12, what we could get, from the store, and you think at 12 right now, $2 getting you 2 things, maybe.
But you know what? In today's society, though, with the whole credit card things, credit cards and credit is not a bad thing necessarily if you're getting correct credit, like smart credit. So if you do have those credit and it's used in a productive way, because my dad used to tell me all the time, like, that's how you get anything in this world. Like, they're not the richest people in the world, but they were able to get a nice house because they had good credit. Like, those types of things are things that I don't even think people our age might not even know. So I think all credit is not bad credit. So, and you don't know when they say one credit card, multiple credit cards, they could have one credit card that's a $5,000 limit or like 6 with $200 limit. Like, you don't know. So it's a
Some
little
people like to
vague.
get credit cards and stuff like that to buy sneakers and things
Some
like
people.
that. Like, I feel as though when it comes down to living within your means, you have to learn.
I think that's it.
And also, a lot of times, it comes down to living within you have to work. A lot of times, we want more than what we actually can even have. You want to be able to stay safe and go on vacations. You want to be able to, like us, we're young, move out. Eventually, my first big boy purchase was my car. After that, should be your home, or investing in yourself in college, or investing in yourself in a show, or investing in yourself as whatever, So it makes sense. I don't know. When it comes down to 10,000 debt or more, I think that it depends upon what the $10,000 is. If it's smart, like you said, if you want to have credit cards, like me, I only have one credit card. I believe that you having credit, you have to establish your credit being young, but you don't want to live backwards. I feel so when you use credit cards, sometimes that's living backwards because you have to pay it back. I don't want to pay. If I swipe for my
But I
vacation.
know people that have credit cards that have multiple credit cards, but they're like store cards. So they
Or
reap
points.
rewards for the card.
I'm not there yet,
But they
though.
they always pay it back because it's just like she doesn't use her debit card. She uses her credit card.
Because you
so
can
she'll go to
excuse that.
Target and she'll buy $50 worth of stuff, but she'll pay it back immediately. It's just that way of establishing credit and getting the points. So she
That's
does
not
have
necessarily
multiple
establishing
cards,
She does
that
what
way.
she's supposed to do.
but yeah.
But
it does.
how many people do
That's
that?
sad. You have to have something on
Now,
your.
what does that
It
come down
depends.
to? Discipline. I think,
Yeah.
honestly. 'Cause
It takes a month. You have to pay it off in that month.
Yeah.
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 But that could be. I would
That's
say
a
that
minimum
you're
to your
supposed to
credit,
have
too. Yeah.
something on your card. You're not supposed to pay it off because it's not showing, like, what type of credit do you
Yeah,
have if you're buying it and paying
the next
off.
billing statement and then you
Yeah.
pay it off then. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, at least from our survey, we have to point out that 68% of the survey takers were 21 to 30. So they're our age. Now, does age have to do with what we're talking about?
It
Living above your
should.
means?
As you go
Mindset.
older, you should go wiser.
Well, wisdom is really acting on knowledge, so you really have to learn the lesson to be able to apply it. So I don't think it's as much as an age group as people think it might be. I think it's more of a mentality type of thing, and how easily you're influenced too. Because sometimes people, when you start to get older and you have maybe that midlife crisis, you want to feel young again, so you start doing stuff, and maybe you was living right all the way up until that point, and then now you're starting to moonwalk.
It's also being a product of your environment. If you never learned how to manage money, no matter how old you are, you're not going to manage your money properly. Like, I know people to this day that's waiting for their income tax check to spend it on stuff that they don't need to spend it on.
Right.
And they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s. So it's just like, if you never manage money properly, I remember in school, we learned how to write checks, but we didn't learn how to balance a checkbook. Like, I can write my signature on a check. I could pay somebody, but I don't know how to balance or save my money. And I think that's definitely something that needs to be implemented into schools, is how to
Definitely in
how to be
schools.
financially savvy. Like, you're teaching me about geometry that I have yet to use, Miss Smith. But I still don't know anything about properly saving money, and my parents don't know, so they can't teach me. And it's like I'm sitting in front of this banker, and I'm like, teach me how to save my money. What is a mortgage? What is an IRA? What is a CD?
Right.
Like, what is a retirement fund? I just got a new job, and they sent me a 200-page package about a retirement fund, and it's sitting on my coffee table because I don't even know what to do with it. Like, I don't know what to do with it. So it's just like there needs to be better education for our youth on how to use their money.
I think people just miss the point of how easy it is to save, though. There's a lot of times where people are just spending money, spending their paychecks when they can put a little money aside. If you get paid weekly, I know some people do, some people don't, some people get paid bi-weekly, but if you're able to save $50 a week, you have like $2,500 saved over the course of a year. And if you can put $2,000 away a year just into a Roth IRA, you can put it under the mattress, I don't care. It's money that's saved and stored, but it's going towards, something bigger, something greater, saving for a house. Where if you're just going and spending, and you're going to say, $50 might be too much a week, but if you're going and buying a shirt that costs $50, $60 one time, you're buying shoes that cost over $50, and then you're going to the bar, you're going to the restaurant, and you're spending $50 once a night or once a weekend, that's the same thing. $50 on a Saturday, Sunday is the same thing as putting 50 away and just saying, I'd like to stay home and watch a movie tonight.
But similarly, that comes back to like being able to prepare for your future and having that mindset to do so. Because if you're living in the moment, exactly, if you're living in the moment and you're not worried about tomorrow, YOLO and all that good stuff, you're not going to sit there and save because you're not worried about those things.
They got these online checking accounts now where as soon as the money comes in, it throws 50 aside in the savings account for you.
I had to sabotage myself. I have an account that I don't have a debit card to. I cannot get in contact with, and it's taken out. Like, who has direct deposit? I'm pretty sure a majority of us have direct deposit. I have it set up where before my taxes are taken out, $50 is taken away from me, so I don't even see it. It's money I don't see, so I don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
And sometimes you gotta trick yourself into saving.
You do have to trick yourself.
If you want a brighter future, you gotta.
Sometimes you got to trick yourself.
I think it goes back to what you guys said though. It's easier said than done now that we're 25 and we've, just like you said, Court, you got a new job and what happened? That packet came to you, so it's like you're forced to, it's there in front of you. But so many people and that younger generation, like they don't know about even what you said, Craig, like just throwing something under a mattress and saving.
Hey, don't do
That's
that.
right.
Somebody comes in the house and then you got problems.
But just the fact of just the principle of saving and managing money correctly. When you don't come from it, it's so much harder to hop on that train.
And think about it, people
Time
come
changed
there.
everything too. Like think about I don't think when we were like 12 we expected to have a cell phone. Now a 12-year-old expects to have a cell phone.
That is
Yeah.
Pay their own bill, but they're not expected to pay their own bill, so what they need money for?
Exactly.
They don't need no money. They
But,
don't need any money.
I mean, it really does come back down to education too, because you see, if you're on a college campus, you're a freshman on a college campus, and there'll be people sitting there trying to sell you a credit card with like 12%, 15, 20% interest rate, and you're like, oh, free money, I want it, but you have no idea. There are students in college who don't even know they have to pay their refund check back. Like, it's like they don't know, and that's like interest accruing over years to come. I was like, oh, free money, we going to dinner? Like, it was just, so you don't know until you get it back 6 months after you graduate, and they're like, oh, they want that back? Oh, well.
Then starts the harassment and the phone calls and all
Yeah,
that.
but
and then you pick the phone up just to hang it right back up. You be like,
I don't know
Why do you have a phone like that? Wait, who still has a phone like that? No, you should not still have a phone like that.
Wait, all right, so we have to go. We just had what we're going to do is, I think we can come back to this in another episode as far as, we were already talking about that in our meetings as far as having...
Educating on money.
Exactly. Managing finances in the education curriculum, that's a whole nother episode. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and we'll be back with the last segment of the show. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're not. What we're going to do is, I know, I'm the host and I messed up. What we're going to do is we're going to take it back to Mr. Reid, Mr. Chris Reid for a second. What he's going to do is he's going to give you guys 5 tips to live within your means. So after you see Chris, you'll see us back for the last segment of the show.
Tips to help you live within your means. Number 1, know what you're bringing home after taxes. If you make $35,000 a year, you're bringing home less after deductions and taxes. See what's been deposited into your bank account and go from there. Number 2, create a budget. List all of your expenses from the big ticket items like your rent, mortgage, car payment, down to your smaller items like your water bill, your electric, even your spending money for the month. Number 3, save. Life happens, and when life happens to a tight budget, a big setback or expense could put you behind several payments, affect your credit, potentially put you out of your home. Number 4, have a partner, friend, family member, someone to help keep you accountable.